Good afternoon, all. Akwaaba. We are back for another Sunday session. Welcome. If I haven't met you before, my name is Mark, and today is Sunday, the 23rd of May. So yeah, almost about to hit June. Hopefully the sun will come up here in London or wherever you might be. And thanks for tuning in to Lydia. How you doing, Lydia? And Queen P. I don't know if D-Man's in yet. I saw D-Man's run this morning. I've been largely offline this week, which has been refreshing to be off socials. But yeah, 45 minutes will be, connecting our breath with our movement. If this is the first time you practice, do get your pace, listen to your body, and also always feel free to take or come to child's pose, which we'll put in at the beginning if you don't know what child's pose is. But yeah, let's get cracking. I'm going to jump on the mat. We're going to start with a breathing exercise, I think, today. So just come into a nice seated position. Sitting on your bum, your legs folded, or maybe come onto your knees. And the breathing exercise we're going to do to start off with is going to be box breathing. So we'll be inhaling for a count of 4, holding a breath for a count of 4, exhaling for 4, and then holding again for 4. So it's a good breathing exercise, I find, just to really center myself and get myself connected to my breath, slow things down, and really start to cut out noise from the outside. So either close your eyes, or if you want to keep your eyes open, go for it. I'm going to start on the inhale. So just take a deep breath in. I'm going to exhale it out. So just all take a deep breath in through the nose, and exhale everything out. Just sigh, soften the shoulders. And again, take a deep breath in, all the way to your belly. Feel as if the air is coming into your lungs, filling your belly. And then exhale out, maybe through the mouth, maybe through the nose. I'm going to start our box breath now. So on the inhale, I'm going to count for 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to hold at the top for 3, 2, 1, and then exhale. 3, 2, 1. I'm going to hold at the bottom for 1, 2, 3, 4. Take a deep breath in. 2, 3, 4. Hold a breath. 2, 3, 4. Gently exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold a breath. 2, 3, 4. Let's go to inhale again. 3, 4. Hold a breath there. 2, 3, 4. Exhale the breath out. 2, 3, 4. Let's go for 2 more. 1 more together before we go our own pace. Hold a breath at the top. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 2, 3, 4. Hold a breath at the bottom. 2, 3, 4. Final round at your own pace. Just come back into our natural breath. Your eyes are closed, just blink them open. I'm going to come into just some gentle exercises to stretch out the top half of the body. So on the inhale, let's just raise the arms to the power of the floor. And when we're in that T position, start to take small circles with the arms as we bring just gentle movements to the shoulders. So maybe your hands are going front to back. Just gentle shoulder rolls here. As you're coming back, feel as if you're bringing your two shoulder blades together. So it's a gentle press at the top of your back, the bottom of your neck, and then switch to the other side. So taking small circles with the arms and the hands. Maybe start to exaggerate the shoulders here as well. Really press the shoulders in. Turn on and wake up the shoulders. And relax the arms back down. Let's place our right arm first over towards the right side of our bodies. So we're going to take a stretch over towards the right side of the room. So on the inhale, lift up our left arm, take a gaze up to the left arm, and on the exhale, we're going to pivot as if we're on a seesaw. So we're not just dropping into that right elbow. Start to lean the body over. Feel as you're going up and over. So if there's an obstacle there, you're going up and over. That'll help you get deeper into the left side of the body. Just take a gentle bend into the right elbow. On the inhale, maybe lengthen a bit more. On the exhale, so you can soften a bit more into the bend, into the stretch. On the next breath, just float the arm towards the front diagonal, towards the front of the room, and then just place the left hand over towards the left side of the mat, on the left side of our body. We're going to take the opposite side. On the inhale, we're going to raise that right arm up towards the ceiling, take the gaze out towards the right hand. Take a deep breath in. And on the exhale, we're going to bend into that left elbow a little, left elbow. And again, we're going up and over that little obstacle there, just in the crease of our left hip. Just to come deep into the right hand side of the body, really stretching out, in particular those intercostal muscles in between our ribs. And on the next breath, just float the arm forward towards the front diagonal and place the right hand on the right side of the body. Shake out through the arms. On the inhale, let's raise our arms up towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in, take the gaze up towards the ceiling in between the hands. And on the exhale, let's take an interlace with the hands and take that interlace behind the back of the skull. On the inhale, open up through the elbows, taking our gaze up towards the ceiling. Shine the chest up towards the sky. Take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, start to take the gaze down towards the floor. And as you do, we're closing up the elbows. You're sitting tall through the spine. So you're bringing a stretch down through the back of the neck. So again, try and avoid just collapsing. You're not trying to bring your head down. Just using the resistance of the hands against the head. Just press the head against the hands. And then feel the stretch coming to the back of the neck. Here for 2 breaths. Another 1 breath. And gently release the arms down. Slowly start to lift up through the head. And let's come into child's pose. So swing the body around so you're leg place on the mat if you're not there already. And let's start just by taking the knees apart and bringing the feet together. Let's walk our bodies down towards the mat. I'm going to aim to pick up the pace a bit, stay in the flow. I think everyone that's tuned in has done it before. So really taking this moment, just as you would any moment in life where you've got time to slow down. When you go on holiday, it's always the best time just to appreciate where you are. We haven't got the chaos or the noise, so just enjoy this part of the practice for what it is. For the next 3 breaths. And whilst you're here, just release any gripping you might be subconsciously doing with the hands into the mat. Just relax the shoulders, soften into the shoulders, soften into the hips. Really feel grounded and supported by the mat here. Whether you've had a busy week, or you've got a busy week coming up, or you've got any anxiety as lockdown continues, just take time here to become really present. On the next breath, on the inhale, let's press up. Let's come into our tabletop. So hands are stacked underneath the shoulder blades. The knees are stacked underneath the hips, and the feet are hip distance apart. We're going to come into just 3 cat and cows. Just find movement into the spine. So on the inhale, let's take the belly down towards the mat, take the gaze up towards the front diagonal. The tailbone goes up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, draw in through the navel, so belly goes towards the spine. Press the hands into the mat as you round through the upper back for the anchor cat. Let's reverse it out. So on the inhale, the gaze goes up. And on the exhale, coming into that angry cat pose as we draw our navel to our spine. Take the gaze towards the lower belly. Let's go for one more. Inhale to look up. The tailbone goes nice and high. On the exhale, draw the belly in. On the next breath, release out. So you come into a neutral spine. Start to lengthen out through the left leg, so you're high in the left toes. And then just start to pulse the body forwards and back through the left toes as you move towards the front of the mat and towards the back. If you come into a position you want to hold, D-man, I know you've gone for a run this morning, so use this position just to stretch out through your left calf. Whether you're pulsing or you're holding, let's come back towards neutral. So drop that left knee back towards the mat, and let's just take the other side. So on the inhale, taking our right foot back behind the right toes, and then just start to pulse forwards and back. Again, it might not be the calf that takes your attention here. Maybe you want to switch on through your right quad. See what sensation that brings up in your leg. And when you're ready, let's all meet back in our tabletop. When I curl the toes under, come straight into our downward facing dog, that inverted V's. Press the hands into the mat, lengthen out through the arms. Take the tailbone high towards the ceiling. You might be high on the toes. Your heels may not be reaching the mat. It's all good. Just energetically create the sensation of your heels coming down towards the mat, whether they reach or not. It's not a thing. It's not what success looks like. Shake out through the head. Let's just take the gaze towards the back of the mat in between the legs. As you press your hands into the mat, you lengthen out through the arms. Take your tailbone a bit higher towards the ceiling. On the next inhale, let's all come high on our toes. And let's step forwards towards the front of our mats. I'm going to meet in our ragdoll. Again, we're not here for too long. Just start to sway for the body. Maybe take a slight bend into the knees. Let's just sway in. Let's all start to sway up towards standing. So that the arms be really heavy, let the head be heavy. As you come up, you're going to roll the shoulders back. The head comes up last. Start to bring the feet together. Face the palms forward in our mountain pose, our Tadasana. Just close the eyes for one breath. On the inhale, let's sort of draw our arms up towards the ceiling, taking a gaze up towards the sky. And on the exhale, take the prayer through our chest as we bend from the hips as we come down to our forward fold. On the inhale, hands to the shins, lengthen out through the arms. Exhale, placing our hands to the front of the mat, and step back with the left and the right as together we meet in a high plank. On the inhale, rock forward into the toes. For the first one, let's drop onto our knees. Uncurl the toes, bend into the elbows for modified low plank. Keeping the hands where they are. is coming to a gentle cobra. So press the hands into the mat. We're taking our elbows and tucking them in to our ribs. And on the exhale, just bring the torso back down towards the mat. Let's go for another cobra. So hands are staying where they are, just pressing the hands into the mat. So just lift the top of the torso up off the mat. And on the exhale, coming back down. On the final one, is come up for a full upward facing dog or cobra if you're not quite stretched out in the back yet. So for the full upward facing dog, lengthen out through the arms, maybe having just a slight bend in the elbows. Shine the chest through the arms. Take a deep breath in, and on the exhale, pressing the hands to the mat, curl the toes under. We're going to meet in our down facing dog. Let's take a deep breath in and exhale out. I'm going to pick up the pace with those vinyasas a little bit. So coming to another couple of sun salutations. So on the inhale, come high on the toes, step forward, and let's all meet in the front of the mat. On the inhale, let's come into a halfway lift. Exhale into our forward fold. Inhale, come all the way up, taking the hands towards the ceilings, and on the exhale, take the prayer towards the center of our chest. Flowing the breath. On the inhale, the prayer goes high, taking the gaze up towards the hands, and on the exhale, bend from the hips as you come down to our Uttanasana. On the inhale, hands to the shins for halfway lift, roll the shoulders back. On the exhale, place the hands at the front of the mat, step back with the left, step back with the right, so meeting our high plank. On the inhale, rock falls into the toes. Again, either take a modification or dropping onto the knees or bend into the elbows for a low plank. Press through the toes for our upward facing dog or cobra if it's there for you. Pressing the hands into the mat, curl the toes under as we meet in our downward facing dog. Take a deep breath in and exhale out. On the inhale, we're going to come high on the toes, jump or step forward as we meet at the front of our mats. On the inhale, hands to the shins, roll the shoulders back. Gaze goes beyond the front of the mat for halfway lift. On the exhale, release the body down into our forward fold. On the inhale, bend into the knees and take the hands all the way up towards the ceiling. On the exhale, taking our prayer to the center of our chest. On the inhale, we're going to high up the arms, taking a prayer towards the sky. On the exhale, bending from the hips as you come all the way down to a Uttanasana. Hands to the shins, roll the shoulders back for a halfway lift. Exhale, press the hands down at the front of the mat. Step back with the left and the right foot as together we meet in our high plank. So rock forwards and back on the toes as we start to engage with the core. On the next rock forwards, bend into the elbows for a low plank. Press through the toes and the hands are pressing into the mat. As you come up for our upward facing dog, soften into the shoulders. Tuck our elbows in towards the ribs. And on the exhale, pressing our hands to the mat. As once again we meet in our downward facing dog. Let's take a deep breath in. And exhale out. On the next inhale, we're lifting our right leg so it's parallel with the mat. Or if it's there for you, press the hands to the mat and start to lift the right leg up so it's pointing towards the back diagonal. Take one breath in. And on the exhale, we're going to go knee to nose. So either leg variation, either right leg is parallel, or taking the right leg up towards the back diagonal, or towards the back of the room. On the exhale, knee to nose. Let's go for one more. Right leg goes up. And on the next breath, we're going to step that right foot all the way through as we meet in our high lunge. So you've got a slight bend in the right knee. You're high on the back toes, left toes. Left leg is straight. Once you feel grounded, start to lift the torso up off the right thigh. And on the next inhale, let's take the arms up towards the ceiling for our crescent lunge. Engage through the lower belly here. Let's take the navel, draw the navel towards the spine. We're nice and toward the torso. Here for 2 more breaths. Really feel as if you're pushing out through the back of the left heel. Here for 1 more breath. And on the exhale, let's cartwheel the hands down towards the front of the mat. Let's step back with that right foot as it meets the left in high plank. On the next inhale, walk forwards into the toes. Let's bend into the elbows for a low plank. We'll take a modification of the knees down. Press through the toes as we come up for an upward facing dog. And on the exhale, let's all meet in a downward facing dog. Let's take a deep breath in and exhale out. Maybe shake out through the head. Let's get ready for the left side. So on the inhale, the left leg either goes parallel with the mat, or take it up towards the back of the room. Press the hands to the mat. And on the exhale, take a knee to nose. Round through the upper back. On the inhale, the left leg goes back and up. And exhale, knee to nose. Let's go for 1 more. So even the left leg's going parallel, or you're going up towards the ceiling. And on the next breath, either or, we're taking that knee all the way through the body and stepping the left foot through. So the left foot, the left sole of the foot sits at the front of the mat. We're keeping a bend in that left knee, maybe at a right angle or high on the right toes. Once we're nice and grounded, on the inhale, start to lift the torso up off the left thigh. And again, remember, we're pressing out through, we're energetically pressing out through the back of the right heel to create length in that right leg. Engage through that right quad, so that right leg is nice and strong. Draw the lower belly towards the spine on the inhale. Let's together raise our arms up towards the ceiling as we'll meet in our crescent lunge. Just play with your balance here. If you do fall out, just feel free to come back at your own pace. Here for another 2 breaths. Another 1. On the next breath, let's cartwheel the hands down towards the front of the mat. 1 big leap. Let's step that left foot all the way back towards the back of the mat. As together we meet in our high plank. We're going to walk forwards and back on the toes. On the next walk forwards, again, feel free to drop into the knees for modification, or come straight onto our low plank. Let's press our hands to the mat as we meet in our upward facing dog. Take a moment to soften into the shoulders here. And on the exhale, press our hands to the mat as we meet in our downward facing dog. We're here for 3 breaths. Let's see, downward facing dog here as a resting pose, as a place to reset, to check in with the breath, check in with the shoulders, the hands, the mind. See if you're wandering away. If you are, just bring yourself back towards the mat here. I'm going to repeat that little flow with a couple of added variations. So I'm going to start with the right leg. On the inhale, taking the right leg either towards parallel or towards the back of the room, high up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, I'm going to step it all the way through as we meet together in our crescent lunge. Once we're nice and grounded through that right foot, lift the torso up off that right thigh. And on the inhale, We're taking our arms up, so they're either side of the ears, and our gaze up towards the front of the room as we meet in crescent lunge. On the next breath, we're going to start to bring our arms down either side of ourselves, and then see if we can interlace our hands at our lower back. Either take the interlace, or maybe take opposite hands to opposite elbows. And on an inhale, whichever variation you've taken, just start to lean the body back, keeping a bend in the right knee. Shine the chest up towards the ceiling. As you come into a slight back bend here. And on the exhale, I'm going to start to lean the body forward. And start to lift the hands up off the lower back. You'll probably find your torso sitting on the right thigh here. Or just sit it inside of the right thigh for a bit more of a challenge of the balance. On the next breath, start to take the hands down and placing the left hand on the inside of the right foot. And on the inhale, I'm going to wind that right arm up towards the ceiling. As we open the body out towards the right side of the room, the right arm goes high. You're maintaining that bend in that right knee. If you want to take a modification, feel free to drop onto that left knee, staying high on the left toes, but you're still opening the body as much as you can over towards the right side of the room. Leave another 2 breaths. Another 1. And on the exhale, we're going to open the body up to warrior 2. So start to drop that left heel down towards the mat. The right toes are still pointing forwards. The right arm goes up towards the front of the room. And the left arm goes back. So you've got external rotation of the hips going on here. You open up through the hips. You're going to go deep into the stretch. Feel free to walk that right foot further forward or the left foot further back. Leave for another 2 breaths. Another 1. On the next inhale, let's flip that right palm over and come to reverse Y. So right arm goes up towards the ceiling. The left hand, place it on the inside of the left thigh, or the left hip, sorry. Take the gaze out towards the right hand, maybe down towards the mat. Again, see if you can maintain the bend in the right knee there. And on the next breath, let's come to side angle lunge. So taking our right elbow, and sitting it just inside of the right thigh. And we'll open up the body towards the left side of the room. So the left arm goes high. Either float that right hand up towards the front of the room, or maybe take the right hand down towards the mat. Here for another 2 breaths. Another 1. On the next inhale, engage through your core as you bring your torso back up. Let's again meet in a warrior 2. This time I'm going to take an interlace of our hands behind our lower back. With more space here to come into our humble warrior. Again, as we did in crescent lunge, let's take our arms back as we shine our chest up towards the ceiling. So level that through the arms. And on the exhale, start to bring the torso forward and sit it just inside of that right thigh. See how high your hands want to go today. As you lift it off your lower back. If you find that your right knee's flaring out towards the side, maybe start to draw that right knee back in towards center. So try not to compromise the integrity of the pose by going too high with the hands if it's just creating too much instability for your body.
So draw your right knee back towards center. On the next inhale, again, engage for the core. Take your body back up. Come back into warrior two for one more breath. And let's cartwheel the hands down towards the front of the mat. Going to step back with that right foot to meet the left. I'm going to come into a modified side plank. So the left hand moves into the center of the mat. Let's drop onto that left knee and the left shin, the left back foot. Drop into the right heel. Start to open up through the body again, taking the right arm up towards the ceiling as we take our body over towards the right side of the room. We're here for 3 breaths, so please feel free to stay in this modified variation of side plank. If it's there for you, feel free to come to the full expression by stacking the right leg on top of the left leg and create that banana shape, a bow shape for the body. As you start to draw your hip up towards the ceiling. Take your right hand up towards the sky for another 2, another 1. And let's cartwheel the hands back down. Let's all meet again in high plank. As we go for our vinyasa again, feel free to drop onto the knees or start to bend into elbows for a low plank. Press through the toes. Press the hands into the mat as we come into our upward facing dog. And let's curl the toes under. And together, we meet in our downward facing dog. Let's take a deep breath in together. In through the nose. And sigh it out through the mouth. Maybe shake out through the head. It's a nice flow, guys. It's good strength. So it's got just finish up on the left side. So on the inhale, we'll take that left leg up towards the back of the room. So it's either parallel with the floor of your mat. We'll take your left leg up towards the ceiling. And on the exhale, start to draw the knee through the body. We're starting off by coming into our high lunge, our crescent lunge, so we'll high those right toes. We're grounded through the left sole of the foot. Once you're ready, start to lift up off that left thigh. Remember, we're pressing to the back of the heel. If you want to take the modification, again, you can drop into the right knee. Maybe your right knee's down or your right leg is straight. We're taking our arms up towards the ceiling here. On your next breath, start to bring the arms down and take the interlace of the hands behind the lower back. Or again, if you do it on the other side, feel free to go opposite hands to opposite elbows. On the next inhale, we're lengthening out through the arms. We're shining our chest up towards the ceiling as we come into a slight back bend here. And on the exhale, start to press through the right toes as you lean the body forward, taking your torso down towards the left thigh. And you can see how high your arms want to go here as you lift your hands off your lower back. On the next inhale, start to come back up through the torso. We're dropping onto the right heel as we're finding ourselves coming into our warrior two. So we're opening up through the hips here again, coming back into a bend into that left knee, taking the right arm back towards the back of the room. The left arm goes towards the front. You have another 2 breaths. So just find your drishti point, your point of focus. Feel nice and strong through your legs. On the next inhale, start to Flip that left palm over, and let's together come into our reverse warrior. So the left arm goes up towards the ceiling. Maybe take that right hand and place it on the crease of the right hip. As we did at the beginning, we're just finding a nice stretch through the left side of our body. On the next breath, let's come back into our warrior two before taking our interlace once again behind our lower back. We're going to get ready for our humble warrior on this side. So once again, lengthen up through the arms. As you do naturally, your chest just starts to shine up towards the ceiling. Maintain that bend in that left knee. And on the exhale, let's start to bring our torso down so it sits inside that left thigh. As together we meet in our humble warrior. So again, just go to that point that your body allows for today. Either keep your interlace in your lower back, or feel free to play and see how high your hands want to lift today, up off your lower back. So bring a gentle stretch into your shoulders. And on the inhale, engage through the lower belly as you bring your torso back up. We're going to come back into our warrior two. Right arm goes forward, right arm goes back, your left arm goes forward. Start to come into our side angle lunge. This time the left elbow sits inside of the left thigh. And we're going to open the body up towards the right side of the room. So the right arm goes up towards the ceiling. You want to wrap it around your lower back. So you can take the inside of your left thigh. Here for another 2 breaths. Another 1. And on the next inhale, coming back up into our warrior 2 for 1 breath before cartwheeling the hands down towards the front of the mat. Let's step that left foot all the way back. As together we meet in our high plank. Almost there. Let's just all together drop into that right knee and the right shin and spin over and drop that left heel towards the mat. We're coming into our side plank, so place our right hands at the front of the mat, this time in towards the center. Feel nice and grounded through the right hand. Really fan out the hand so you're covering a nice surface area. And on an inhale, start to take the left arm up towards the ceiling. As we come into our one variation of our side plank here, you take your gaze up towards your left hand or down towards the mat. So we're here for another 3 breaths. Really engage through your lower belly. Switch on through your core to help with your stability. And come into the full expression again. Just step that right leg back. And stack your left leg on top of your right. Again, create that bow shape through the body. For another 2. Another 1. And let's bring that left hand down towards the front of the mat. And we'll meet again in our high plank. Together, let's all drop onto our knees. Uncurl the toes. Let's just start to bend into the elbows as you bring our body all the way down towards the mat. For waters of rest, just come onto your right cheek. Let your arms just float either side of you. Just take a gaze over towards the left side of the room. As you just come into a gentle stretch for your neck muscles here. Let's just turn or switch sides, so whichever side you started with. If you're looking to your left, just come onto your left cheek and look to the right and vice versa. When you're ready, let's just take the gaze towards the front of the room, maybe resting onto the chin. We're going to take an interlace again on the hands behind the lower back, made of sitting on the bum. On the inhale, we're going to start to, again, take the arms back and lift up through the front of the body, taking our torso up off the mat. For count of 2, 1, and then bring the chin back towards the floor. I'm going to go for 2 more. So we're going to repeat that pose, the asana, by lifting up through the front of the body. This is a nice stretch for the lower back, which I said at the beginning, sorry. So on the inhale, we're just lifting up gently through the front of the body. Let's bring an eye stretch to the lower back. And on the exhale, come back down. Again, just resting the chin on the mat. And for the final variation, we're going to lift up through the front of the body and also through the legs. So on inhale, start to lengthen out through the arms, lift up through the front of the chest, and then point the toes towards the back of the room. You may find that you're lifting up through your shins, knees may be off the mat, and we're holding here for a count of 3, 2, 1, and release. Let go of the interlace. Just bring your cheek or your chin back towards the mat. Let's take our hands and stack them underneath our shoulder blades. We're going to press up into a gentle cobra. So again, we'll just come into the lower back here. Press our hands to the mat and take our bum all the way back as we meet in our child's pose for 1 breath. On it now, come up into our tabletop. Whichever way feels comfortable, just spin around and sit on your bum. And start to bring the back down so it's at a 45-degree angle. And get ready for boat pose. And maybe take the hands in front of the knees. So the knees are pointing up towards the ceiling, the soles of the feet on the mat. So the first one, just holding to the front of the shins. Back to that 45-degree angle. And then when you're ready, on the inhale, see if you can start to lift up both shins. So the bottom of your legs are parallel with the mat. Feel free to take a grip of your hamstrings here. Or if you're ready, release the hamstrings and just take your hands either side of your legs. Just play with the balance. Roll the shoulders back so you create length in the spine. And again, if you want to level up, so you can start to lengthen out through your legs as we meet in boat pose. On the next breath, let's come into low boat. So balancing on the buttocks. You're long through the legs, your shoulders off the mat. On the next inhale, let's come up to our high boat. On the exhale, let's take low boat. Inhale to come high. Exhale to go low. Inhale to come up. Exhale to go low. And just start to swim through the legs. Keep swimming almost at the shore. And then relax. Take your legs to the floor. You're long for your body. Before we finish, we're going to come into a supine twist. So on the inhale, let's start by lifting up through that right leg. Taking a bend to the knee and taking the hands as an interlace in front of the knee. Just wind up through your hip here. So take your knee clockwise and anti-clockwise as you find movement to your right hip. Before coming to stillness, let's use that left hand, take it up and over the outside of the right knee, and let's start to draw that right knee over towards the left side of the room. It doesn't matter if your left knee doesn't reach the floor, just go to a position where you can start to feel stretch. Just notice where you feel the stretch. I feel mine on the outside of my right buttock and a little bit because of the twist of the lower back. We're going to take our gaze over towards the right side of the room, lengthen out the right hand towards the right side as we come to our supine twist. So embrace any clicks or pops you might hear. On the inhale, let's take our right knee back up towards the center. Take a final hugging of that right knee. Then lengthen that right leg out again towards the front of the room. Let's just take the other side. So on the inhale this time, take an interlace of the left shin, the left knee. Just starting to wind up clockwise and then anti-clockwise. This time taking the right hand up and over the outside of the left knee and drawing that left knee over towards the right side of the room. Whether your knee reaches the floor or not, just use the right hand on the outside of the left knee, not to force it down, but just to give a bit of gentle resistance and take your gaze over towards the left side as you come into your supine twist. On your next breath, let's take the knee back towards center. Take one final hug in and lengthen out both legs to the front of the room. Let your legs flop out. Take your arms either side of your body. Close your eyes and let's get ready together for Shavasana, our resting pose. Just let go of any ujjayi you breathe in. Just come back into your natural breath. Just feel well supported by the mat here. Let go of any tension, any gripping. Just enjoy a few moments here in silence. Start to bring some movement to the hands and the feet. If you're staying in Shavasana for a bit longer, then please feel free to do so. Otherwise, bring your knees to your chest and let's roll up into a seated position. See if you come onto your knees. And just cross your legs. Just finishing up by just close your eyes. You can place your hands in your lap or bring your hands into prayer. Just show gratitude for yourself for rocking up and allowing yourself to connect your breath to your movement, to find a bit of stillness and a bit of movement for the past 45 minutes. And if I was to set an intention, the intention for the week ahead is hopefully one we can look forward to. Again, one of gratitude and being grateful for all of life's blessings, even in the face of challenges. Thank you. All done. Wrapped up for another week. A little bit over again. Apologies, guys. Wow. Thank you for tuning in once again. I think next we're going to do abs. The boats at the end were a killer. Big man. I know you can do those abs. Well done for your time this morning.
thank you once again for being present and practicing with myself and with each other. Yeah, back next week, like I said, with abs. I know that's a favorite of B's. Lydia, thanks again for tuning in. Yeah, lockdown is easing, so hopefully you might have been just slipping a cheeky park session or something. Maybe combine it with one of Queen P's walks, Epic's walks. But that's me done for another week. Again, please do hit me up with any feedback. I'm still not on the socials fully. I've dipped in to set up this class, but yeah, should be online later this week. Have a great week, everyone, and I will. D-man, I will catch you next week. God bless. Take care. Bye-bye. I'll keep the chat going for another 30 seconds or so.